Sylvia's Traders Lounge, in partnership with Scope Markets, welcome you to yet another webinar where we learn, trade, and profit. We shall be giving you trading insights on technical analysis, fundamental analysis, risk management, and trading psychology. Today's guest is Naomi Wangari, and our theme is how graduates can become financially independent by pursuing Forex trading, treating it as a professional business.
Welcome, Naomi. Naomi's bio. Naomi Wangari Wairure is a Forex trader with 5 years experience in price action trading. Price action trading is a trading methodology that analyzes price movement of a financial instruments in order to identify potential trade entries and exits. Price action is popular among professional traders because it is more reliable than the use of indicators. Naomi graduated from the University of Nairobi with a Bachelor of Science in Statistics and went on to work for the National AIDS Control Council for 6 years. She was first introduced to Forex trading after graduating from university and decided to pursue it as a career because it provided her with the independence to forge her own path. In 2015, Naomi was introduced to AfriForex by a mutual friend and founding member of Scope Markets, Kenya. AfriForex is a Forex trading education firm that was established by John Bogwa and Mitch Kanyaru in 2013 with the sole purpose of helping students meet their trading goals. Naomi started off as a student in 2015 and graduated to a mentor in 2018. As student and then a mentor, Naomi has gained an array of skills that meet the demands of trading. She not only understands what it means to be a successful trader, she has also defined her own trading strategy, understood risk, learned how and when to walk away, learned how to trade beyond simple wins and losses, and learned how to never give up. With the independence she has gained, Naomi was able to set up a business she has always been passionate about. She formed a company called Moms by Kare, a business that provides mothers and mothers-to-be with quality products at affordable prices. Naomi believes that trading is a marathon and not a sprint. In order to be successful, one must be patient. Although having a mentor such as AfriForex has made her journey easier, the right mindset has helped her become proficient. As George Soros once said, once we realize that imperfect understanding is the human condition, there's no shame in being wrong, only in failing to correct our mistakes. Furthermore, the financial markets are like any other industry, intrinsically unpredictable. Therefore, Forex trading deserves the respect of any other business venture. Like the diversity of the African continent, women have an array of places they can foster a successful trading career. Although Forex trading has been a predominantly male-dominated environment, female traders have conquered the market and overcome gender bias. Today, 48% of women describe themselves as professional traders compared to 45% of men, and Naomi is proud to call herself one of them. Welcome aboard, Naomi. It's nice to have the first Kenyan woman trader this year in partnership with Scope Markets. So maybe you can start off by telling us about your trading journey, how you started, why you pursue it relentlessly, and why you chose this path as a Kenyan graduate.
Thank you, Sylvia, for having me. Thanks for the opportunity. And thanks to Scope Market for giving us this platform. As Sylvia has said, my name is Naomi Wangari. I've been trading for the last 5 years, strictly on price action trading. Maybe first I go on why I decided to do trading. To start with, like most traders, it's because there was so much demand at the end of the money. So, of course, to look for an extra coin. The second thing was I had a very young family, and my former job involved working out of town. So I needed more time with my family. And the third thing is freedom, which I feel, so because of those things, I felt trading was very ideal. So about the journey, it's been a tough one because at first there was no information and all, but I really thank God I came across AfriForex, and they've worked with me as from the bio, you can tell I was a student and now I'm even a mentor with them. So I really thank God for AfriForex. When you have a mentor, the journey becomes easier. But as we'll see in the presentation, it's been quite a journey.
All right, so maybe you can tell us the lessons you've drawn so far from your challenges, and to be able to craft your own journey and your own trading style. For the 5 years you've been trading and you have been able to achieve some financial independence. So like, just explain to us what lessons we can learn from your journey as well.
I'll highlight the most ones because the lessons have been so many on this journey. But the main one is, number one, you need the right information. Most people assume because trading is online, you can just go online and make money. But for me, I feel you really need the right information and the right education. The second thing, you need a plan or a strategy, and just not any strategy you borrow online or copy. You need to create your own plan and strategy, which is proven to work. The third thing I would say is have goals. The same way you have goals in anything else, you also need to do it in trading. You need to be very disciplined. Once you have a strategy, you have to follow it. It's just not creating a strategy for the sake of it. You really have to be disciplined and make sure you follow it. The other thing is you need to know what's happening. Sometimes you'll find the market behaving very different from what's the norm. But if you really look, maybe there is news or something. A very good example is yesterday. Anyone who was in the charts yesterday noticed the markets were very volatile. This was because there was a summit, the Jackson Hole Summit, which is a summit that happens where people discuss financial matters. So in case you are in the chat and you didn't know such news existed, you'll be wondering what's happening. We also know every first Friday there is an NFP news. So every first Friday of the month, you might find the market being very volatile. So if you don't know such news, you'll find yourself not aware of what is going on. As much as we don't trade news, we make sure we know what is going on. The last thing, which is very key, I would say, is patience. Trading has taught me to be patient. Because you'd find as much as you know what to do, you have to wait for the right time to do it. If you need to buy, you have to wait for the right time. So basically, those are the most important lessons I've learned through the journey.
All right, you mentioned about your trading plan. So according to you, and given that you're a price action oriented trader, what entails a good trading plan?
I would feel your trading should have different aspects where you need to do analysis first. You need to know what are you looking to do. Are you looking to buy or sell? Once you've done your analysis and you're waiting to know what to do, the second thing should be, now you follow what it is that's in your strategy. Because as much as you do your analysis, you also have to follow the strategy you've done. The last thing I would say that should be very important on your plan is the post-analysis. If something works, if the trade works, you need to look, why did it work? If it didn't work, you need to learn and make a point, why did this trade not work? So I would say those three are, for me, that the most things that should be on the plan.
All right, so maybe you can share your screen and then you can explain to us the difference between lagging and leading indicators and how you apply them in your trading.
As you mentioned earlier, I'm a price action trader and we are at AfriForex. We do price action trading. So most of the time we don't use indicators. Actually, we don't use indicators at all. What I'll do, I'll show a demonstration of why. For me, for us in AfriForex, we don't use indicators. So I'm gonna use the moving average. I know most people who trade, these are the first ones you learn. Same here, I really did a lot of moving averages, and I've drawn using the exponential ones between 8 and 21. And so according to the analysis, the one that, if the 8 is above the 21, you're supposed to be, when they crisscross, you're supposed to be buying. And when the reverse happens, you're supposed to be selling. So like where I put the X and here. But most of the time, you'd find when, like for example, when this is crisscrossing and it's asking you to buy from here, you've already missed. When you're a price action trader, you will, most of the time would capture a trade from down here. So you find by the time you're entering, that's why it's called an indicator. It's indicating when already the move has started happening. But as a price action trader, most of the time you'd find you'll be able to anticipate and get the move before it happens. But that being said, there are some indicators that work, just that because we are price action traders, you'd find we don't use indicators. So this is an example of a lagging indicator.
All right, thank you for that. I will welcome my co-host to ask a few questions before we get to your presentation on your trading strategy.
No worries.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Sylvia. Hello, Naomi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, I'm good. So I just have a few questions to ask you before we allow the rest of the participants to also generate some questions. After this, we'll have a Q&A. But I just had a few questions for you. What do you think is the importance of having a mentor? Like you said, during your journey, when you went to AfriForex, what would you say is the advantage of having a mentor?
A mentor is very key, I think, in every aspect of life, because whatever you're going through, they've already gone through it. So sometimes you'd feel, hey, these trades have just been having a series of losses. I don't think this is normal, maybe I don't know how to trade. But when you sit down with your mentor, they will look at the trades in a different perspective. Maybe tell you, maybe you're just doing so many trades in a day. Try and reduce the amount. But for you, when you're by yourself, you won't know what's happening. You just think, I'm a failure, this thing is not working. But because your mentor has gone through what you're going through, it's very easy for you to make your journey easier.
All right, thank you. Are there any memorable moments in your career, in your trading career? Both highs and lows, maybe you can tell our audience.
Yes, of course, it's a journey, and I've had very good moments where I follow my plan to the letter, and I make very good, some good money. But if you're not careful, I would say trading is after good trades, most of the time you become greedy. And anytime in the past I've blown my account, it's usually after a very good win, because sometimes you just forget your plan because you feel, now I figured this thing out and we can do this. The same thing, if you have a series of losses, which happens, maybe there's a news you didn't know about and you did your analysis well, and unfortunately you had a loss. If you have a chain of losses, also you now start fearing the market. You're like, hey, once I enter the market, maybe I'll have a loss again. So for me, I would say, now that so far with my experience, I would say trading is the good balance between fear and greed. You have to be somewhere in between, a good mindset where you're not so fearful and also you're not so overconfident with greed. That's the only way you become successful.
All right, thank you for that. One last question before I let Sylvia take over. How long did it take you from the beginning part of your journey when you started out with, let's say, the indicators? We find most of the time as traders, we are kind of directed towards the indicators, especially if you're self-learning. And then at some point, you probably end up like you did with price action trading. So how long did it take you to settle for the kind of strategy that you have right now?
I would say 2 years. The first 2 years, I was just trying things. You try indicators, it doesn't work. You go back and search for something else and try, it doesn't work. But now with the help of AfriForex, my mentors, we sat down and they showed me how price action works, and it works for me. So yeah, no turning back now.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. So Naomi, why should traders focus towards having a simple trading strategy that blends very well with their trading personality like yours? So maybe you can do that by showing us practically on your presentation.
Okay. First, I'll go through the what according to me is a simple strategy. And as a price action trader, our strategy is very easy. First, we look for direction. Where is the market going? The second thing is timing. And the third thing is money management. So I'll go one by one and discuss more. So for the direction, you need to know who is in charge. Is it the buyers or the sellers? That's the first thing you do. Once you get to the charts, you have to ensure you know what to do. And maybe I can do an illustration on the charts. On, for example, on this, this is the gold chart, and I use scope market.
All right, maybe you can share your screen so we can see your chart.
I'm sharing a minute. You can see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. So you read the charts from left to right like a book. You need to start from this side going across, yeah. So for me to know whether we're in sellers or buyers, I'll just use the support and resistance levels where big. So this is the level, like for example, this is where this move started and it went down up to here. So when I find the market here, I'll be knowing I'm looking to sell because you can see we are looking to where this is a seller zone. If you find the market was there, you can easily tell it's on a downtrend. It's very easy. You can just see and you see that's a zone. That is a seller zone. I can do another example. This is a different chart on H1. Right. So if this is the USDN. If we say this move started from down here where the red line is, it reached this region where the yellow is and up to the way to the magenta. If I annotate this, it's very easy. Everyone can see this region here. You can easily tell this is on a buyer's zone. So that's how you check for direction. So when you see this now for here, I'll be looking for buys because I can already tell according to the market, we are on a buyer's territory. So those are the zones, that's how you look at them. That's direction. We can even look maybe at another one. And this is even on, it doesn't really depend on the time frame. You've seen this one was on 15 minutes. And you can see the same way I'm looking at it. This is a H4. If I drew these lines also from, let's say, from here, you can tell this market is going up. So we are also on buyer zone on GBP USD. So it doesn't really matter which time frame you're using. Just know once you're able to read from the book from left to right, you can tell the zones. So that is on direction. Okay, so I've just demonstrated the buyer zone and the seller zone. Then the second thing was timing. Timing is we wait for pullbacks. So when you wait, when you look and notice, the first thing is direction. You know where the market is going. The second thing is you wait for pullbacks. Now, even if we go back to the charts again, if you go back to the charts, if like the one we had said we are in buyers, we'll just be waiting for pullbacks and the buys will be happening. So that's one way for timing. Okay. Then the second thing is sessions. The second thing on timing is sessions. You need to know who's in the, when are you supposed to be trading, because you might be taking trades in the morning. Maybe you take a USD pair in the morning and it's not working. You need to know what session are you trading. And I would say in Kenya, we are very well placed. We are very well placed because we can look at different sessions. If you're looking to trade the pound and the euro, you'd find that would be happening in the London session, which happens around 11. If you're looking to check USD dollars and Canadian dollars, you'll be trading in the afternoon. That is when the New York session is open. If you're looking to trade New Zealand and all that, you'll be looking to trade at 2 a.m. That is Asia market. So you need to know your sessions, because if you're trading the wrong thing at the wrong time, that your trades won't be working. You'll be in a trade the whole day and it's not work. Then when it comes to 4, the move happens so fast. So you need to know your sessions. That's also part of timing. And us as AfriForex, as much as I know most people who are transforming from 8 to 5, like I used to do, would have a problem with this, because you're accustomed to be working from 8 to 5. So for me also, when I started, I felt I have to be in the charts from 8 to 5. So for that, you can be in the charts, yes, but I would say be doing analysis before now the sessions open, so that by the time it's happening, you already know what you're looking at. So for example, us at AfriForex in the morning, we do daily analysis every morning. In the morning, we look at what we'll be trading. And with the help, with partnership at Scope Markets, we are offering it for free. So you can see each more we'll be looking at, we do our analysis in the morning, and we'll be looking at what is weak, what's weak and strong. And you can see it's not we do it every morning. So you have to prepare well. So for example, yesterday was the 27th. Like this was yesterday. We were looking at like you can see euro was strong, GBP was strong, yen was strong, AUD was, and CAD was strong. Then USD was weak, and then let me share. So you can see from the one I showed you, we were seeing USD was weak and CAD was strong. So we were looking to sell that, and you see it worked. So when you do analysis, when the market now opens, you're able to capture. You're really able to capture what would be happening. The same way we were looking at CAD CHF, it was CAD the same day. CAD was strong, so here we were looking to buy, and you can see the cards worked. So that was part of timing. If you know what you're looking and you do an analysis in the morning before you even the sessions open, it will be very easy for you to capture good trades. Then today in the today you can see we were looking euro was strong, so you'd be looking to buy euro AUD. And then if it's something like GBP was strong and USD is weak. So if we look at euro AUD, we'd be looking to buy it. And also if we're looking at GBP USD, we'd be looking to buy it. So you can see from my PowerPoint presentation, I have even a screenshot of today. This is euro AUD. We were looking to buy it, and you can see the buy worked. And even someone sent us a screenshot of the trade today. GBP, the people who are there in class in the morning, these two, the GBP we were looking to buy, and you can see it worked. So this is, if you know what you're doing in terms of timing, it will work so well for you, because these trades are euro and GBP, they happen during London session. So London session is between 11. So if you are in session today and GBP is awake at that particular time, the London people are awake, you'll be able to catch that or some trades. Then the next thing is money management. I feel we started with direction where we went through buyer's zones and seller zone. The second thing, we were looking at entries, that's timing. We said we look at pullbacks. And then the other thing is know when to trade in terms of timing, in terms of which session you're trading and all that. The other thing is money management. Money management entails risk. How much are you willing to risk per trade? Because that's where most people would go wrong. You'd find someone who's coming in today, they don't know how much they're supposed to risk, they blow their account. So I feel this is also a very important aspect to consider. Make sure you know, you can do it either in percentage or in an amount. The second thing is the risk to reward ratio. How much are you risking and how much are you making? Like any business, you can't go buying a pen at 5 shillings and selling it at 3 shillings. You have to make sure you know how much you're making. So I've done a small calculation because as you can see from my presentation, I've said you do at least a 1:2. The risk to reward ratio, for it to make sense, it has to be at least 1:2. So for example, if we say you're risking $10 in each trade, and let's say the first risk to reward is a 1:1. So every $10 you've risked, you're making $10. So if let's say you do 10 trades, and then you lose 5 out of the 10. So out of the 10 trades you've done, 5 are good, 5 are not good. You'll make sure, you'll find at the end of the day, you've lost $50 and you've made $50. So you're doing zero work there. You'll be in a trade, yes, you're busy the whole day, you've taken 10 trades, but you have nothing to show at the end of the day. But if let's say, in the second example, you've done a 1:2, and then you do 10 trades and 5 trades are wrong and 5 trades are right. The money you've lost, the money you've made would be the money you've lost would be 50 times 10, which would be $50. But the money you've made will be 100, because in each trade you make $20, yeah? So at the end of the day, you'll have made at least $50 at the end of the day. If you get even a better 1:3, and in each trade you're listing 10, you find if you do five trades right and 5 trades are wrong, the good ones you make $150 and the wrong ones you make 50. So at the end of the day, you have a profit of $100. And even if you look, even with 40%, if you have 40 out of the 10 trades, 4 are right, you'll end up, the first one, when it's 1:1, you'll be at a loss. The second one, you'll still be at a profit of $20. And the third one, if you're doing a 1:3, then though you are just making 4 trades out of the 10, you'll be in profit overall. So I feel that is why, for me, I feel at least a 1:2, it would make sense when it comes to money management. So the other part of money management is the number of trades you do per day. And from the presentation above here on how much you make, you can imagine if your target was to make $50 in a day, and you're even doing a 1:3, you don't have to do so many trades. You don't even have to do 10. Let's say even you just make sure that if the first 5 were right, even if it's 1:2, you are done for the day. You don't have to feel like you need to do 20 trades or how many trades. So for me, the risk to reward is very important to consider when you're trading. Okay, so also goals. Do you have goals when you're trading? You make sure you have some goals you need to reach. So by the time you're saying, yes, I'm trading, how much are you looking at? How much do you want to do at the end of the month? For example, let's say you want to make 20,000 at the end of the month. If you calculate it backwards, that means 4,000 per month, 4,000 per week. That if you do even 4 trades you trade for 4 days only, you just need to make 1,000, and at the end of the month, you'll have 20,000. So I feel it's goals and not big goals. Most people come in trading wanting millions, but the more you risk, the more you like. You just need to divide them into small goals. You'll be very surprised. You just need to do maybe 1 or 2 trades and you achieve your goals by the end of the month. So for me, that is basically how simple a simple strategy should be about trading. Then when you look at the trading personalities and how you blend them with your strategy, there are different types of personalities. There are people who are very aggressive. And the people who are aggressive would prefer to do short-term time frames because they want to be in and out. They're not patient people. They won't be the people waiting for a whole week for a trade to perform. So the people who are aggressive, you'd find short time frames would work for them. The people who are conservative, these people are patient. They can wait for a trade to happen even after 3 days and they will be there waiting. So those people, I would maybe advise them to have use long-term frames like H4, H1. But these people who are aggressive can even be doing 15 minutes, 3 minutes, and it works for them because they want to be in and out as many times as possible. Then there's the third kind of people who are confirmation personalities. And I would say most people who are new are here. Because yes, they know what they're supposed to do, but they're so afraid that they take too long. By the time they're like, I was right, I knew it, I knew the buy would happen. But the time it's already left them. So they would find so many opportunities would miss them there in the confirmation part. But I feel with the right information, they would be able to now know exactly when to enter. That's where AfriForex comes in. So if you're new and you'd feel, yes, you are right, but you know the trade is going to happen, but you don't know exactly where to join, please, you can come, we mentor you and make sure you know how to enter those trades. So depending now on what kind of, whether you are aggressive and whether you are conservative, because these are the most ones. These are the most people who are professional traders are in these two, the aggressive and conservative. That will depend on how you will look for trading as a business. And for me, these are for you to know to carry trading as a business. Number one, you need to do journaling. Like any business, you keep records. Every time you wake up, you take stock, you know how much you have, you know what you're doing. The same thing as trading. Please have a journal. Have a journal, write everything, write why you're trading and all that. The second thing, you need to set goals. I think that one I've mentioned earlier, but I cannot insist enough. If you don't set goals, you'll be in a cycle where, yes, you're trading, but you're not sure where you're going. Are you going? You might just be trading, you make money, today you make, tomorrow you lose it. Tomorrow you lose it because you don't have any set goals. So you have to be very strict with your goals and work towards them. Write a plan and make sure you follow it through. The other one is the targets. The same way, if you have any business, you have your targets. You're saying by the end of the year, I want to reach at this amount. Do the same thing with trading. And if it's not working, go back to your book and see what you're doing wrong. The other thing is costs. When you're running any other business, you pay for rent, you do all these things. Also in trading, put those costs. It's just like any other business. Most people assume because it's online, you don't have to have costs. Get the right information, get the right education. Ensure even when you're doing your trades, you've calculated the commission, the broker charges, you've calculated the swaps. Consider all the costs, because sometimes you might be saying you're getting a 1:2, but in actual fact, you're getting a 1:1.5 because you did not calculate for the commission, you did not calculate for the swaps and all that. Also planning, you need to plan. And planning entails doing analysis and knowing what you're looking to trade. You just don't wake up and just go into the charts and continue where you went. You have to do a plan. You have to have a plan. Where am I entering these trades? What do I want to achieve? The other thing is you need to monitor. And monitoring and evaluating happens in all businesses. And I feel this is also very key, because you'll look at what am I doing wrong. This is part of also journaling, where you write down all the mistakes you did. You have to write down and see, this trade works, why did it work? You list down, so that the things that works, you do them again. The things that doesn't work, you stop doing them, because sometimes you easily tell. That's why even now you tell, if you're an aggressive trader, you can tell, hey, that every trade that needs me to stay for long, it doesn't work for me. I close before it happens, or anything like that, because you're aggressive. So using your journal, you can easily tell. With the records you have, you can easily tell, every time I do this, this doesn't work. Every time this happens, this happens. So you can easily know, hey, according to this, I think I'm an aggressive trader, or I'm a conservative. So I'll be taking trades for a long time or a short time period. The working hours also. Let's say if you're an aggressive trader and you want to enter trades in and out, you can be allocating a certain time. You say, I'll just be trading for 2 hours, and then for me, I do 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and I'm out and done. But if you're very conservative, you're doing H4, you just need to be in the charts every 1 hour or 4 hours to check what is going on with your trades. Yeah. So I feel that that's how you should look at trading as a business, because if you don't do that, you'll find out you might be in a cycle where you're not doing anything. If someone asks you, you're like, yes, I'm trading, but if you're told to show what you've been doing for the last even whatever years, you can't even show. So I feel it's very important for traders to take it as a business, have records, make sure they know where the trades are going and all that. And I think that would be to make the journey easier. So I'm ready for questions.
All right, thank you so much, Naomi, for that wonderful presentation. And thanks to also all the attendees for all the questions that they've been asking. So let me just break it down into a few, because there are some which are a bit similar. So I want to ask, or at least for you to answer this question by both Brian and Alan, who are talking about how you come up with the zones, how you come up with the trading zones. So a bit more into detail, and also, do you trade the frequently tested zones or fresh zones? Which of the two? And how many times, like if you were to consider frequently tested zone, like how many times is it going to be tested in order for you to consider it?
So for how to check the zones, we use the support and resistance lines. That's how you're able to, let me maybe go further and maybe go showing different types of zones. You can see my MT5?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So for example, where we are at, starting from this side, we'll just follow and see the move, where the move started from until where it went. So at this point, we are still, you can tell you're seeing higher highs and higher lows. Like you can tell this is buyers, then you continue the next level. You just go, for me, for us, we follow till the end. Then you can see now this level has been broken. Now from here we've changed into sellers. So wherever we meet the market, we don't go so far. You just look and know, because it depends with what time frames you're trading. This is the one hour. If let's say one hour, you need to know which time. For Brian, it's Brian who asked the question.
Yes, both Brian and Alan. Brian had asked about how you identify the zones.
Yeah.
And Alan was asking about tested zones, like tested support and resistance levels. Do you trade breakouts or bounces off of those levels?
Yeah. So for Brian, who was asking about the zones. It depends which time frame. Make sure you are very strict with the time frame you're using, because you might find some, like in this one, you can easily tell now for here, we've turned here into sellers. Now from here, we'll be looking for sales. We'll be looking for sales. From there, we'll be looking for sales. Then you'll find after some time, this has changed now again into buyers when we are on H1. But if you go to H4, you might find the region where I've drawn, we are still in sellers, but H1 says H1 says we're in buyers, because maybe it's during a pullback. So for him, I'll tell him, please strictly know which time frame you're using. Stick to one time frame when you're looking for direction. Don't start changing. So for now, like if you're on H1, be looking for the zones in H1. Then you can go to a lower time frame to know when to enter. For how many times it's tested, that is more detailed. You should check our course on AfriForex, and we'll tell you more details on how exactly we know where to enter and all those details. Because there's so much, like I'm not able to explain everything in this session.
All right, thank you, Naomi.
Yes.
There are some questions coming in regarding advice. Any advice you have for new traders with regards to how much capital to start with and what kind of returns to expect?
When it comes to how to start, please make sure you get the right information. Before you go to any live, we decide to go live, try your strategy on demo. Make sure you know this strategy has worked for me in demo. If you have to be trying in each 10 trades, the way I showed an example, make sure at least 5 out of the 10 trades in your strategy works. Now, once you're confident enough that what you're doing is working, then you can now go to live. About the capital, it depends on how much you want at the end of the day. Because if you know what you're doing, I think you can do at least 5 to 10% in terms of capital. So in terms of profits, if you have the right information and you know how to trade well, you can do maybe 5 to 10%. So let's say you've invested 10,000 Kenya shillings, you can do 500 to maybe 1,000. If you know how to trade, then you have the right information. So if that's okay, you can start as low as that, provided you have the right information. It's actually easier to put a small amount and grow it over putting a big amount and just blowing all it up. Because you find someone who puts 10,000, is consistent, is disciplined, grows it all the way to 100,000. Then you find someone else who puts his 100,000, but is not disciplined. Within a week, it's at 10,000. So it doesn't, for capital, I think you can start as low as even $100. Then you just be disciplined and have, with the right information, you get to where you want to get.
All right, thank you. Benson is asking, have you ever blown an account? And yes, what's your take on trading stocks?
I have blown many. And what's the take on?
On trailing stops. Like, do you use trailing stops? What do you think about them?
Trailing stops?
Yes, trailing stops.
Like stop losses?
Yes, for the trailing stop losses.
In all our trades in AfriForex, we actually have to insist you have to trade with a stop loss and a take profit. Maybe take profit, you have to trade with a stop loss is a must. It's like driving a car without brakes. You will die on the road. You have to have a stop loss. Yes, I have blown accounts because I have been indisciplined before. I have let greed sometimes take over, but now I have learned the hard way. Some of these things sometimes you have to learn the hard way, but you have to be very disciplined. You have to be very disciplined to make it in trading. And most of us are not, because you see in trading, when you're in 8 to 5, your boss is there and looking after you and telling you, I need this report. But in trading, you're by yourself. There's no rules, but just know whatever you do, there are consequences. So if you feel like you want to make, to double your 10,000 to 20,000, you can try and do that, but then tomorrow you won't have any money to trade. So some of those things you have to, it's just on the road, you have to be scratched here, you have to hit someone before now you know the road well. But yeah, it's, apart from that, if you're disciplined and consistent, it's doable.
All right, thank you. There's a question here with regards to time.
Yes.
Let's say you have a full-time job.
Yes.
Is trading recommended for someone with a full-time job, and how would someone be able to navigate both worlds at the same time?
I would say yes, it's possible. Even me, when I started, I was still in the office before I decided to do it full time. What I would say is someone in the office can use a bigger time frame, like daily and H4. So they won't have to be on their laptop the whole day. Once they use, let's say, daily to look for the direction and maybe use the H4 to do their entries, they just need to be looking at the trade maybe once or twice during the day, whether the trade is doing well. But the trade can take 2 or 3 days, so they won't have to be pressured that you have to be in the charts all the time. And again, when you have the right risk, if you're not over risking, you'll be comfortable to leave a trade to run, and then you just come either find your money has already, provided you have the stop loss and the take profit, you can leave a trade running and you come back and find, oh, my trade closed and I have some money in my account. So it's possible to do it even when you're in the office.
All right, thank you. I have a question coming in from Titus, who is asking about your masterclass.
Yes.
How long does your masterclass take?
Yeah, it takes about a month. And how we've done it, it's videos. We know people don't like reading. So it's a series of videos. Just be watching, and we have illustrations taking you back to the chart. So you'll be learning something and you go back to the chart and practice it and all. So it's easy. It's not reading, it's a series of videos. It takes about a month.
All right, thank you. There's a question here from Mboya, who is saying, what advice would you give to someone? Well, he said here, someone who is planning to quit university and venture into trading full-time. Would you advise him to quit university and venture into trading full-time, or how should he approach that?
Don't quit, because your mom will come for me that I say this. Yeah, don't quit. Don't quit, but you can start learning, and then as soon as you're done, you can focus on trading. Actually, one of our mentors, John Bogwa, he's never been employed. He left university and started trading, and he's never written a CV. So first finish your course, and then you can come and get mentored and start trading. Yeah.
So you heard that, Mboya, don't quit university.
Yes, don't quit yet. Yeah.
All right, maybe we can take in a few more questions. So there is a question from Emmanuel, who's asking about the risk to reward ratio.
Yes.
Would you also consider the market structure now in terms of support and resistance, what you can be able to get out of the market when determining your risk to reward ratio?
Whether you can get out of...
He's asking,
yeah,
if you're using a risk reward ratio of 1:2,
yes,
do you consider the market structure?
Yes, we do. Yes, we consider the market structure. Of course, as you've seen through the daily analysis, most of the time we'll have almost 16, more than 10 trades to look at. So when you do your analysis, and you'll tell, this is where I would put my take profit and stop loss, because before you enter any trade, make sure you know where you're putting your stop loss and your take profit. That is a requirement before you even put buy or sell. So once you're already, before you enter a trade, you'll be knowing what risk to reward you're looking at. So if you feel you get a trade which is 1:1, and there's another one in the group which is doing 1:3, you'd prefer it's easier to you actually choose the 1:3 one, because it will give you a better reward. So that's how we look at the structure. Before we even start, you know where you're putting your stop loss, where you're taking your take profit. Then you'll calculate and see, trade A is giving me 1:2, or trade 2 is giving me 1:3. So you take the one that's giving you a better risk to reward, because you can't force where the market will, how the market will be.
All right, thank you. Damaris is asking whether you'd be so kind to share your notes, whether you're done. Maybe you can, for you, Naomi, maybe you can share your contact details on the chat section so that anyone who wants to contact you after the webinar, they might be able to reach you. Is that all right, Naomi?
That's all right, and I'll also share the AfriForex website and our number.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll share it in a minute.
All right, so as you do so, there are also some questions regarding your masterclass.
Yes.
How does someone enroll, and also how much the fees are?
The masterclass goes for $200, that's almost 20,000. But for right now, there is, I think, a discount. For Scope Markets, for everyone who's also a client for Scope Markets. I'll share the details in the chat. Let me get the details of everything and share. But normally it's 20,000. Yeah, then you learn how to make money.
All right, so as you also share your details, one question from Emmanuel again regarding how you come up with your watch list, like if you're, like how you had detailed in your document showing that these are the currencies that are strong, these are the currencies that are weak. How do you come up with that strength meter?
We have a system. We have a system which is now our in-house as AfriForex. So, but for now we are sharing. We are sharing the details. You don't really have to get the headache of knowing all how to do it. Because every morning we are telling you, we've already done the analysis for you. We are telling you this is what you're looking to buy and this is what you're looking to sell. But that is a system we created, which is in-house.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's also another question regarding the markets that you trade.
Yeah.
Do you also trade indices, or is it just specifically Forex? Do you trade other markets that are offered by Scope Markets?
Yes, we do currencies. We also look at gold and oil. So we do metals and energies, yeah. But that's mostly that's the three we look at.
Okay. Another question coming in from Alan. There are usually frequent traps on charts. Is there a way to anticipate some of these traps?
Yes, now for that, he has to come for the classes. He has to come for the classes because it's true. We can't all make money. And that's why I was saying, as much as there's timing and there's pullbacks, you need more, there's more to look. As much as you see my charts are naked. I don't have lines, I don't have indicators or anything. Just by observing on that chart, there's so much information we can get as a price action trader. Just looking at the chart, there's so much you can analyze for the whole day and give more even deeper meanings from what you can see from the naked chart. So that is now how you know. But I agree with him. There's so many there's the times you're being set up, and you need to know when you're being set up, because the big banks, we call them the big boys. Most of the time, they're the ones who would find making money. So you need to know when you're being set up as a retail trader. I've put the AfriForex number on the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you. And just one final question before we end. What's your take on forex income tax in Kenya? Is it something that you're aware of, or how would you advise someone on that?
Actually, yesterday I was talking to someone in KRA, and I was asking them whether I thought it's capital gains, but they said no. Anything when you say trading, you have to you have to show KRA how much you're making, and then we pay for the taxes. There's the tax that is there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. I think this marks the end of the Q&A session. Thank you so much to all the attendees and everyone who's asked their questions. And thank you as well, Naomi, for that wonderful presentation and for giving us your time. I now hand over to Sylvia.
All right, thank you so much. As we conclude, maybe Naomi, you can tell us the importance of working with a regulated broker. And there was a question that had come in about swaps and the cost. Can you vouch for Scope Markets in terms of transaction costs per trade, given that you use their trading platform? And also the importance of, even as you're learning, opening up a real account to get the real feeling of the market. I think they start with $50. So as we conclude.
Okay. So first of all, I've been working from the word go since they came to the market. I find they are the best in the market, Scope Market. Their commissions are fair, quite fair. Yes, they ask for as small as $50, but the beauty of using with a regulated broker, you're sure your money is safe. For me also, I've noticed their transfers is immediate. As soon as you say deposit money, it reflects immediately in the account. As soon as you're trying to pay yourself also, it hits your MPESA almost within seconds. Also, they have very good customer service. In case you have an issue, they almost assign everyone a manager to have a check on to follow up on them. So for me, Scope Market works okay.
All right, so you will share the details for where people can find your work and maybe your active social media handle if you post analytical stuff on your trading, if you have that, and then we will link down the AfriForex details on our show notes.
We have when I'm affiliated with AfriForex, so everything AfriForex, we are there on AfriForex.com. We have our website, we have a YouTube channel. Please subscribe. We really show what we are up to. We are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, we are almost on Facebook or social media. AfriForex.com. Yeah.
All right. So thank you for your time, Naomi. We would love to have you again in the future, and thank you for sharing with us your skills today.
Okay. Thank you too for having me. Thank you so much.
All right. Cheers. Bye.
Bye for now.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks guys for tuning in and sticking with us to the end. We hope you have learned something new. I would like to appreciate Scope Markets for sponsoring this webinar. Remember, you can open a live trading account with Scope Markets and apply the lessons shared by the guest in this webinar to your trading. Many thanks to our guests for speaking to us. We'll be open to have you in the future. Till next time, goodbye.